O Israel, come back to me, says the Lord. If you will throw away your detestable idols and go astray no more, and if you will swear by my name alone and begin to live good, honest lives and uphold justice, then you will be a blessing to the nations of the world, and all people will come and praise my name. The title of my sermon today is I Told You So. And that comes from God himself. He is the one that told through Amos, through Isaiah, and now Jeremiah. I told you if you would straighten up, come back to the temple, come back to my word, maintain the temple, live a life that befits your calling out in the world, treat people with fairness, just represent me so people will see in your works my glory. But you didn't listen. And so, because of that, they are now in Babylon in time out. I skipped over a couple of lines in the lesson. I apologize for that. But it's not my fault. It's these glasses. And they're going to be there for 70 years. In captivity once again. And I know they are not happy, but they should have listened because God is a God of his word. And he told them over and over and over again, I want you to straighten up. I want you to come and worship. I've blessed you, I've loved you, I've cared for you, and you have turned your back on me. And if you don't straighten up, I'm going to punish you. And he most certainly did. He sent them to captivity, to Babylon. And not only that, he destroyed Israel. He destroyed the temple. All of Israel looked like those poor cities in Illinois that had all of those tornadoes this past week or so. And what was really interesting, if you saw the news about some of those towns, it was a news person that went up to an older gentleman. He was walking through the rubble. And the guy said, have you been able to find your home? And the guy was standing on a pile of 2x4s and junk and everything. He says, this is my house. It had been completely leveled. And another thing he told the newsman, he said, just 2 weeks ago, my wife and I paid off the last payment of the note. He felt terrible. And I know the Israelites felt terrible too, because they had, under King Solomon's rule, built a beautiful temple. And God had warned them, if you don't straighten up, not only am I going to destroy your home, but I'm going to destroy the temple as well. And he did what he said he was going to do. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. And if you get it wrong, I'm not going to fuss at you because it means that I'm not a very good communicator. And if you get it right, that means that I'm doing a pretty good job of communicating a point that I think is very important. For the last 3 weeks, I have tried to tell you as clearly as possible what is at the very root of God's anger. What is really making him mad? That they're not reading the Bible, that they're not coming to church, that they're not keeping up the temple. What is really got God upset?
That he's not appreciated.
He does not feel appreciated. I'm good. I have made my point. God does not like to feel unappreciated. And he loves to bless people. He loves to do things for people, to heal people, to forgive people, to embrace people, to protect people, to love people. All he asks in return is that we appreciate him, that we show our appreciation, and that we live according to our calling as God's children. Well, we're human beings, and we are kind of in a way like God when it comes to appreciation. We like to feel appreciated as well. And when we feel unappreciated, it hurts our feelings. And after a while, you know that hurt turns into anger. And we say to ourselves, we're not appreciated, and so it makes us a little bit angry at the person that we blessed or gave a gift to or whatever. So it would behoove all of us to make sure, number one, that we appreciate God. Not only by showing up, but also by actions, because actions speak louder than words. And so I would never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So in order to hone up on my skills of appreciation, I have made a decision. I am going to pick an individual, a family, or a business that I do business with each week. And I'm going to visit that person, that family, that business, and let them know just how much I appreciate them. And I started this past week. One morning I got up, it was Tuesday I think, it was kind of cold. And I said, now, who can I appreciate this week? Who can I actually go to and say, I really appreciate you? So it was warm, comfortable in my house. When I turned on the thermostat, the heat came on, just like it did here. Felt really good. Then I went to my bathroom, turned my shower on, felt that hot water, had a great hot shower. Then I went downstairs and I said, Ginger, have you fixed my breakfast yet? She said, absolutely not. She said, but the stove works, and you know where the pans are. And I said, well, thank you for reminding me. And I turned on the gas on the stove, and the gas came on, and I saw that blue flame there, and I said, that's it, Scana Energy. I'm going to go let them know how much I appreciate a constant, continuous flow of natural gas to my home to give me a warm house when it's cold, a hot shower, and gas to cook food, bake things with. So I looked it up on the internet, found out where they were, and I went down to Scana Energy. And I was impressed right away when I got to the parking lot. They had tons of visitor parking. So I parked in a visitor spot, walked up to the door, and before I could put my hand on the door, somebody opened it. It was a greeter. And the greeter said, welcome to Scana Energy. How can I help you? I said, I'm here simply to show you how much I appreciate all that you do to make my house warm, my water hot, and my oven cookable, so to speak. And she said, well, come on in. We're glad to have you. And I walked into this huge lobby down there. It's beautiful, beautiful. The carpet is clean. It is perfect. And there was another hostess in the middle of the room, and the room was full of people, full of people. And there was a table right in the middle of the floor, in the middle of this big lobby. And on it, it had all kinds of baked goods, cookies, all kinds of refreshments. And on each side of the lobby was a coffee pot. There was decaffeinated coffee over here, caffeinated coffee over here, and apple juice for the children. It was amazing. And there was a hostess standing at the refreshment table. And she said, help yourself. If there's anything you don't see, just let me know. We'll try to accommodate. I said, well, that's cool. That's great. And I said, I have a question. I said, several of these people here have on a little blue sticker with a blue flame on it. I said, who are these people? She said, they're new to our community. Many of them have moved here recently from Ohio. And they're thinking about making Scana their natural gas provider. And since you have been a regular customer with us for about 12 years, if you wouldn't mind speaking to them and telling them of your personal experience, maybe they will be our customer. So I went around and I talked to a few people that had the blue flame on their lapel and made them feel welcome to Georgia, and hope they enjoyed it here as much as I did. And then a few minutes after doing that, the hostess said, can I have your attention, please? And I said, absolutely. And she said that the chairman of the Department of Human Resources and Public Relations is now going to speak to us for about 10 minutes about the goods and services of Scana. And in walks this beautiful, well put together, nice looking lady, very professional. And she had around her neck, about this size, a crystal, blue crystal flame. It was just beautiful. And she talked for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, without notes. Just wandered around the crowd, kind of like this, and talked to people about the goods and services that SCANA had to offer. And also, she said how much she appreciated all of the customers that belong to SCANA. And she let us know that they are available 24 hours, 7 days a week to make sure that we have a proper flow of natural gas to our homes. Do you have any questions? I raised my hand because I have a question. I said, I've been a customer of yours for a long time. And I came a long ways this morning and just sat here for about 30, 40 minutes just to let you know I appreciate you. And I was just wondering, during the summer months, I don't use much gas. Not hardly any at all. Because it's warm here. I don't take really hot showers in the summer. Don't need the heat. And we hardly ever cook on our gas stove because we cook outside on the grill. Would it be okay if for the months of June, July, and August, I don't pay my bill? And she said, absolutely not. And I said, why? I came here and I told you I appreciated you. Isn't that enough? No, we need for you to pay your bill. Otherwise, the staff won't get paid. We won't be able to get the natural gas from LaGrange, Texas. And you know that's where it comes from if you're a Texan. Anybody here a Texan? Half of a Texan? Do you know where LaGrange, Texas is? It's in South Texas. And that's where natural gas, a whole lot of it, comes from. They pipe it all the way from LaGrange, Texas, up to Marietta, Georgia, right down Trickham here to my house. And she said, we have to pay permits to get the gas through the line. We have to pay our staff. We have to pay these lights and everything. So you have to pay your bill even when you don't use gas much in the summer. And I said, but I'm away a lot, and I go on vacation and everything. You still have to pay your bill. That's how it works. You know what? God would love for us not only to come here and to sit here on the comfortable pews, go into the fellowship hall and eat those freshly baked goods. And we have a coffee pot just like SCANA, one on this side and one on that side. He would love for us not only to say we appreciate Him, but to show Him we appreciate Him. Because actions speak a whole lot louder than words. I'm going to Indiana as soon as church is over today, to Indianapolis, to have a lovely Thanksgiving week. So this past Wednesday, I wanted to make sure I paid all my bills before I left. I don't want to mess with that when I'm up in Indiana having a good time with those wonderful people. And so I asked Juanita. I said, Juanita, are our checks going to be in our bank? You know, we do direct deposit on Friday, which is payday. I want to pay my bills before I leave. She said, no. I said, what do you mean no? You trying to start stuff? Don't you know who I am? And she says, Pastor Grunke, we are not going to be able to pay you or any of our vendors or any of our staff because we do not have the money in the checking account to cover those debts. I ain't joking. I said, well, what are we going to do about that? And she said, we must have a stellar offering this Sunday and for the rest of this year to make payroll and our budget. And I'm saying, what has happened at Holy Trinity to come to this point? Last year, remember last year? We had the best year in the history of this church. Every vendor was paid. Every program of ministry was acted upon. every time we needed to pay a staff member, whatever, they were paid on time. But somehow or another, this year, we got a little bit lazy. And a lot of people will say, well, Pastor Grunke, how come you didn't tell us that we were behind? Y'all are like the Israelites and God. I have told you 5 times, if not 10 times, that we were getting behind. And you looked at me like I was saying to you, go have a cup of coffee and a piece of pie. 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago, and I'll even show you where I was standing. I was standing here, and who was standing over here? Pastor Burkholz was standing there. You remember, you pay attention, way to go. And Pastor Burkholz and I were talking about making our pledges for 2014. And then I said, but before we get too excited about 2014, we have to take care of 2013. Well, I don't know what caused us to get lazy, but I'm your coach. And it is my job to light a fire under every one of y'all's, you know what. And so this is what I'm doing today. And I'm sorry our visitors have to hear this. But maybe one of our visitors won a lottery this week and help us out. But anyway, we're kind of like the team last year that won the Super Bowl and then hadn't won a single game this year. We did so good last year that it really puzzles me as to what's going on. I don't know what it is, but we just got lazy. And so we usually by this time have made up our summer deficit. But instead of making up our summer deficit, we have gone in the wrong direction. So the moral of this story is this. I was planning on taking the turkey to Indiana. We have got to have a good offering today so I can go to Publix right after church and buy the turkey. All jokes aside, the staff would love to be paid this week. We would love to pay Scanna our gas bill, if we have Scanna. I don't even know who we deal with, but they want their gas bill too. And we would love to keep providing ministry to our children, to our youth. And we would love to have refreshments, coffee on both sides of the lobby. And we would love to have a ministry that makes God very proud to call us His children. So this is what I want us to do. I want us to search our hearts, search our wallets, search our pocketbooks, and remember from the prophets that the one thing God really enjoys from all of His children is to feel appreciated. You have come here today to show Him and tell Him that you appreciate everything He's done for you, especially giving you the gift of His Son, Jesus, to die for us, to give us the hope of eternal life. Now, let's do our best to get our stewardship house in order so that the staff can get paid and we can have a turkey this Thanksgiving. I'm done. Let us stand.